Well, I think if we're honest with ourselves, every single one of us at some point in our lives will experience a spiritual wilderness, a time when God feels distant from us. Now, that might be because we're just going 90 miles per hour all the time, and it's difficult to hear or see God when we're so busy. Or maybe you're actively running away from God. Or maybe you don't know why. Maybe you took a wrong turn somewhere and you find yourself just wandering around the desert, unable to return back to the promised land. The truth is, wilderness experiences are a part of the Christian journey. And though they may be difficult, they're not altogether a bad thing. I recently had the opportunity to teach a Sunday school class of recently graduated college students, so young adults. And in that class I asked them, so how would you describe your relationship with God lately? And many of them told me that they were just so busy with starting off their first careers and learning what this whole being out in the real world thing is going to take, that God had seemed less real to them lately, or maybe perhaps less reachable. They told me they wish they could have gone back to those mountaintop experiences that they had with God in high school. You know, the ones where we would spend the entire weekend at a retreat or a youth trip, and God would be so real to us. Well, I thought about it for a minute. And then I said, I don't think we're meant to live on the mountaintop forever with God. I think there's more to our relationship with God than just experiencing that spiritual high all the time. Those mountaintop experiences are important and unique and rare because those are the times the air is thin and we can see the eternal more clearly. Those are the times we get filled up with the love of God. But then we come back down off of the mountain into the valley and we share that love with a world that so desperately needs it. But if there are mountaintop experiences, there are also barren, rocky wildernesses as well. And if Jesus in his life experienced the wilderness, well, then which of us can be expected to be exempt from it? But similar to those mountaintop experiences, we weren't meant to live in the wilderness forever either. Times in the wilderness are times that we grow and learn things that we simply cannot learn anywhere else. I mean, we can hardly be expected to grow deeper in our faith with God if everything is just hunky-dory all the time. No, sometimes we must be nudged a little. We must be poked. We must be prodded. Sometimes even we must be temporarily blinded in order to see God's will for our lives. In the desert, you may be tested. You may be tempted. You may be stressed. But then that season ends. And oftentimes we look back at our time in the desert and see how it has prepared us for today.